Oh my God, it's John Cena! So you have seen The Suicide Squad.
I have.
As I.
Yes.
We both enjoyed it.
Yes, it was fun. Fun, entertaining movie. I can't stop helping myself looking at this screen now as I talk.
Yeah, we went high tech in the studio, folks. We've had this equipment literally the whole time.
Just laying around.
Even in the old setup, we had this equipment because we have this TV monitor, whatever it is, that I used to play the games on before I got, new setup. It was just been sitting here this whole time. I was like, wait a minute. If I just put that HDMI cord into it, Spencer could see what I see on the computer. He could follow the articles. We won't have no more phone hissing.
Yeah.
Makes everything easier. We were going to talk about the Suicide Squad, but we weren't going to talk about this. It was something else we were going to talk about. Dealing with the Suicide Squad, wasn't it?
You wanted me to tell my story.
Oh, right. I wanted the folks to hear Spencer's anger about his movie-going experience because we don't get to go to the movies very often anymore. And there's a good chance that, like, Suicide Squad could be the last time you go to the theater. Like, that could happen. Like, whatever movie you see could be the last one in theaters.
You know what? That was better than the last movie that I got to saw.
What was that?
The Bloodshot was the last one.
You saw that in theater?
Well, yeah, before like that. I saw it right before everything originally went into lockdown. And then I saw Black Widow a couple weeks ago and then this. But there was a part of the story I even forgot to tell you that added on to the rage before I even got to the theater.
Okay.
So
you went to West Virginia, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's already a...
Well, I mean, the trip to there and stuff's not that bad. So because I was going to West Virginia, I knew that I was going to need gas somewhere on the point of going there and then coming back because I was going to get my books afterward, my comic books and stuff like that. So I knew I was going to have to get gas at some point in time. So I figured I'd get it here, because I'm not exactly familiar where all the gas stations are down around that area,
That was a foolish move on your part, Spencer. Gas is like 50 cents, or at least 50 cents cheaper.
Oh, is it?
It's like $2.88 or something.
Oh, okay.
So you fucked up.
Oh, well.
But go on, you went and got the gasoline.
I lived right next to one of Big Man Get-Go's gas station, but it's been torn down, so all the other local gas stations have just been overflown with, the stuff, the customers that they normally don't get.
Right.
So I had to go out to this gas station on the other side of town, which was fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I went to go pull up, and I realized the handle was broken. They had like the yellow bag on it. It was out of order. But there was a car in front of me, and right before I was getting ready to pull in, an asshole in a truck.
Just cut you off?
No, they did the fucking, there's plenty of parking spaces, but I'm going to pull up to the sidewalk and just sit there and just park my car there. So like I couldn't go around, so I literally had to back out, go back on the street and circle around so I could get to another gas pump that I could get that I could get on my side of the car. I was so fucking pissed. I was half tempted to go when I went into the gas station because it was like an old guy too. Just like, hey, listen here, pops, that's not a fucking parking space.
Then you realize his grandson's in the car and his grandson is Brock Lesnar. Oh, God damn it.
But you've seen that, but I had that small space in between the pumps and the like the actual gas station and the smaller, it just fucking pissed me off. I was so mad.
So you went to West Virginia in a bad mood already.
And then, but like the drive there was fun. There wasn't that much traffic or anything. So I get to the movie theater. I pay for my ticket and my slushie and my popcorn and stuff. And I actually timed it because the movie was like 11:15, and I was walking into the theater at like 11:48. So it was like pretty good timing,
Yeah.
I get in there, nobody else is in the theater, so I get to go, and I
Are you taking your pants off?
Yeah, I got my pants off, unbuckled, just ready to, enjoy the movie. I pick the middle seat in the middle aisle, perfect. And when I'm in the lobby, I see the only other people I already see in the lobby is this lady with her kid that couldn't be any more like 10 or 12 at the most. So I'm like, I'm good. They ain't coming to see Suicide Squad.
Yeah, what are the odds they're going to see a rated R superhero movie?
Yeah. No, but as the trailer starts, they come walking in. I was like, oh, that's fine. There's still 3 of us. And
literally 500 available seats.
Yeah. Whole theater worth. And then, so they slowly start walking up the steps. And I'm like, okay.
Nearing you.
Yeah,
just closing in.
It's just closing in. And then they get to the aisle right in front of me. And they stop. For a good minute and a half, just thinking about it. Which made me more mad.
That they were like, should we put our big fucking heads right in front of this guy?
The easiest way for me to describe it is this. So I'm sitting in my seat, there's a seat in front of me, there's an empty seat, and then it's the two of them. So basically right in front of me. Even in COVID times of the social distancing and being away from people, and just in the before times, dick move.
That's a dick move.
That's a super dick move. But I did try not to upset my movie-going experience. I just figured that I wasn't, if anything I thought was funny, that I wasn't going to try to, light laugh at. No, I just full-heartedly laughed at what I thought was funny, at all the immature, gross things. I cheered at people getting their face blown, and all that stuff.
Repeat all the swears very loudly out, so the kid can hear, that kind of thing. There is a hierarchy of movie theaters, whereas if you get there first, obviously you get first seating.
Yeah.
Now, I told you the AMCs, you have the electronic pick your seat, which is nice because it'll show you who's where. But in the hierarchy, you got your very middle where you sat.
Yeah.
Because especially if you go to like a what do they call those? The big super theaters.
The IMAX?
Yeah, like if you get like an IMAX, that's obviously the best seat. But even in a regular theater, that's usually the best seat is right in the middle. Second best, right in the middle, but all the way up top.
Yeah, right underneath the projector.
Yeah, under the projector. That's usually the good cranking spot because the light makes it like seem extra dark right there. So if you're gonna be a pervert or if you
see everybody else.
Yeah, or if you want to be one of those people that necking, if you want to be necking, that's what they used to do in the 50s, I hear. They went to drive-ins then. But and then after that, I don't know, it just gets shitty, I guess. Yeah. Every other seat sucks.
And like I said, it would be one thing if there was like a smattering of people throughout the theater.
But no, just you.
Because then at that point you're just, I wanted the best seat or the seat, that I think that I'll enjoy the best watching the movie.
That's almost like something that would happen to George Costanza.
Yeah.
Like he'd be alone in the theater and literally a guy with gigantic sideshow bob hair who's 7'2" would sit right in front of him. Yeah. And then if you're the George Costanza type, you might just be too awkward to be like, I can't say anything. If I say anything, then I'll cause a scene. I'll just sit here and take it. And then you just feel bad about yourself.
But I almost wanted to I did kind of almost want to just plop my feet over the seats. That's
took your shoes off.
Yeah, or something like that, and just be like, and just get real hammy with it, just like like laughing at things, just fucking try to ruin their experience. And if they try to do anything, but hey, this is on you guys.
Too bad you didn't have terribly loud and smelly flatulence.
Yeah.
The
one time.
I said when you told me the story yesterday that you should just start coughing. Just South Park noises. Well, my last movie going experience was a lot better. The movie wasn't that great. Saw Old. It's like a week or two ago.
Oh, yeah?
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Wasn't good?
It was okay. I wouldn't watch it again.
No.
I wouldn't recommend anybody else watch it unless they got the time and just don't really care.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of the thing with the Shyamalan movies. It's like, other than that first time, you get the twist or whatever the twist is.
You know,
maybe one more time just to see if, as you watch, you'd be like, oh, okay, and see if you can catch anything or anything like that, but...
Nah, that's about it. But anyway, Suicide Squad, DPW approved.
Just go see it.
Fun movie. If you like pretty much if you like Deadpool, you'll like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
With Big Shark Monster, which is my favorite character. John Cena.
Num nums.
I just want to whisper it into John Cena. Let's see how low we can get it. John Cena. Welcome to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me today, Spencer, the German Gooch Grinder Church.
That sounds painful?
I think, yeah. You're grinding some gooch? I mean, you went from tickling taints to grinding gooches. Now you're getting a little more violent.
Well, what I'm worried about is if I'm grinding German gooches. Because I feel like those gooches will be a lot harder.
A lot of saddle sores.
Yeah.
A lot of calluses from riding big steeds.
And just, just the weather and stuff just be,
I have no idea what the weather's like in Germany. Neither do you. I think cold in the mountains, but that's probably Switzerland. I'm ashamed to say that I just realized we should have opened, the cold open should have been a question.
Oh, yeah?
Dick York or Dick Sargent?
Dick Sargent.
Dick Sargent?
Yeah, because, that's high, at least high ranking.
No, I was talking about the guys on Bewitched. Wasn't it Bewitched? It was Dick York and then got turned to Dick Sargent, or was it I Dream of Jeannie? Might have been Jeannie.
Yeah, I think Jeannie had a different...
Double dicks.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? No, we're not talking about this. Today's episode is brought to you by Hungry Man Dinner. I just feel like Hungry Man Dinner should be a sponsor because I never see commercials for it.
Yeah.
And
not for a while, no.
They need a shout out. Klondike has more commercials than Hungry Man Dinner. Today we're talking about 13 Pittsburgh authors you really should be reading this summer. I don't know why we never covered Pittsburgh authors. Seems like we should since we're in the area. Also, this was written in 2019 by Jody DePerna. So
considering how time has basically stopped, still very, recent.
Yeah. I feel like summer ended in 2019. Like, that was the last summer we really had. You know what? I'll just read this verbatim. As a literature writer and voracious reader... I didn't bring a drink. I got the cotton mouth.
Now I can see the words that you mess up on now, too.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, with the new setup, you could see, like, why things are difficult for me. And then I could be like, Spencer, that word. And then you could be like, fuck. And then you can see the words I skip because I don't know, but I can...
Wait a minute.
That happens, too. As a literature writer and voracious reader, I'm often asked for good book suggestions. Here are 13... You know what? Fuck, I'm not reading that. Let's go right into the article. How about that? These aren't numbered. Why wouldn't you number them? Maybe that's because if you numbered them, then it would make it seem like one's better
than the other, yes.
That's what I'm thinking. So the first one up, Stuart Onan, or is it Onan? Sounds like it's Irish, because it's got an O. Stuart Onan. Onan has penned a trilogy of related books around the same family. Emily Alone, 2011, was my introduction to Onan. This is the second book in the trilogy, a follow-up to Wish You Were Here. But you don't have to read them in order to enjoy them. Interesting. Onan so beautifully creates captivating prose through his examination of humdrum everyday routines. Oh, that sounds like a Murakami.
Yeah.
That's a tall order when grappling with issues of widowhood and old age. But Emily Alone is completely spellbinding. His third entry to the trilogy, just released this spring, Henry himself, is set 10 years earlier and revolves around Emily's husband, Henry. It's right on top of my vacation pile of books to read. And again, this was written by Jody DePerna, which I don't know if that's a man or a lady, so I will not assign a gender. I feel like you can't assign a gender anyway.
Yeah.
No, because you never know.
You never know.
I've been seeing more and more frequently a lot of they, thems.
Yep.
So you never know what you're going to get. Don't insult people, Spencer. Don't assume their genders. Or their pronouns, rather. Next up, Damon Young. One of the founders of the site Very Smart Brothers, Young is perhaps best known as a master of funny and cutting hot takes. But with his 2019 book, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Blacker, a memoir and essay form, he examines the experience of becoming black in America, and in Pittsburgh specifically. Before we go on, I just want to say, Pittsburgh's a pretty goddamn racist city. Yeah. So I would actually be really interested to see what his take on that would be.
Well, even just Pennsylvania is it was right on the Mason-Dixie line. You know what I mean? We were barely north.
Yeah, our area. But also, and a lot of people don't know this because I don't think everybody goes to visit Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is actually a pretty segregated city. You kind of have the black half and the white half.
Yeah.
And then you do have a mingling in the middle there, like the downtown area and Oakland and stuff. But there definitely is segregation. I don't know if that was done purposefully or if that's just how things ended up. But there's also a lot of gentrification that's been going on as far as I know. But I don't actually hang out in Pittsburgh very often. It's not my spot. Everything's too damn expensive. Anyway, back to Damon Young. He really allows himself room to breathe in this format, creating a gorgeous, genuine, sometimes harrowing journey into his American experience. Don't worry, he could still drop a hilarious pop culture reference like the best MC. Yeah, that's a white person who wrote this.
Yeah, right.
Next up is Kathleen George. George is the author of 10 novels, all set in Pittsburgh, except The Johnstown Girls from 2014 set nearby, which I would guess would be set in Johnstown, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't think I've ever been to Johnstown. That's where the school is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe. What school is that? Is that Pitt? No, it's not Pitt. Not Pitt. Penn State? Where's it? I don't know. I don't fucking go up that far. Most recently, George published The Blues Walked In, 2018, which uses Lena Horne's time living in the Hill District as its jumping off point. Lovers of mysteries and detective fiction should pick up her book, Taken, 2002, and then read through the Pittsburgh mysteries. They are engaging and propulsive, with great local landmarks sprinkled throughout. I'd be down for a mystery. That would be cool to read, like a mystery book of places we've actually been to. Like, we could actually, like, you read a mystery set in Pittsburgh, we'd be like, oh my god, I know what they're talking about. Yeah. Versus, like, Sherlock Holmes or something, where it's like, I don't know. Could be anywhere. Could be making it up. And
nothing against her, but, like, can you put out a book called Taken without it just, like...
Well, that was 2002. Was that before the Taken movie?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Maybe. But even still, after the movie came up, like, oh, I gotta change the name of my book now.
You can't change your postscript.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
I guess. I mean, if it was published by an actual publisher, that'd probably be difficult. If anything, Taken should change its movie title to Liam Horsecock Neeson. By the way, I did see a gif of Liam Neeson and when he's younger running naked. It does like touch his toes. That was. I might even sent that to you. If I didn't, I should have. No, that was just. It was just fucking. It's like, what is that? A baby arm?
It was slowing him down. It was dragging on the ground and slowing him down.
It looked like it hurt. Like it was slapping so hard. It's like, dude, why is your penis that large? Apparently, was he Scottish? He's Irish, right?
Yeah, I think one of those.
I don't know, but I just hear. You know, I don't want to talk about celebrity penises. Kind of do, but I don't.
Not right now.
We're not going to do that in the Pittsburgh episode. Next up, Lori.
That's if it's Big Ben's penis.
Big Ben's penis. No, that's a non-consensual penis. He's been in trouble. I might pronounce this name wrong, so I apologize in advance. Lori Jaquilia? In 2015, Lori Jaquilia penned her third memoir, Belief is Its Own Kind of Truth, Maybe. Published, that's a big title.
Yeah.
Published by Atticus Books, it won the William Sorian International Prize for Writing. Then Atticus went out of business, and this book went out of print. Well, that sucks. Luckily for Pittsburgh readers, local publishing house Autumn House Press is re-releasing it this September. Can't wait till then? Help yourself to some of her... That's a weird place to put a split. Can't wait till then? Help yourself to some of her other titles, especially The Bridge to Take When Things Get Serious. Why is she like such long titles?
Yeah.
The Bridge to Take When Things Get Serious, 2013. Her memoir of taking care of her dying mother. And for the growing number of people who can identify with the scourge of the 21st century economy, the gig economy, pick up Portrait of the Artist as a Bingo Worker, her 2017 collection of very lived-in, captivating, funny essays about labor and the meaning of work. She definitely must have took inspiration from some early Poe or something, because these are some long titles. Yeah. All her books are very long titled. I'm just thinking of formatting and perspective. How would you fit that on the book cover? Like, that's like 10 words right there.
Be lucky if you get it on the spine.
Yeah, on the spine. You can read this one, Spencer.
No, I won't.
I apologize again because I'm definitely messing this up. I think this sounds like an Indian name to me. I'm not good with Indian names. We are at Anjali Sanjava. Few short story collections are better than Sanjava's All the Names They Used for God, 2019. Are modern books all these long of titles, or am I just seeing things here? That's a long title, too. All the Names They Used for God.
But that one's not too bad, because it's like, it's not a mouthful. Like, and to the previous writer, her titles got to the point where it's like, and then I'm still talking.
Like The Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Yeah. Like, all right. Shorten that up. Just for the title. I mean, all right. Anyway, so all the Names They Used for God was written in 2019, or published in 2019, rather. I would say written, but that's obviously the published date. The stories are all strange and challenging and a bit magical. Sacheva takes us from the late 1800s prairie to Pittsburgh in the early 20th century, to Chibok, Nigeria a few years ago, to an American city at some point in the future. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
See, look at how big that title is on that book, though. All the Names They Use for God. Like
it takes up the whole book.
But that just looks like an extra tall book. the cover's cool, but
imagine that in a paperback.
I've always been of the belief that titles should be short normally. Just a couple words at most. Because you got to think like it's on the spine too. If you have a long title like that on the spine, it's going to be so small.
It's going to be hard for people to just, if they were like if it was, sitting spine out, what's the chances of a reader even noticing it at like a, at a store or something?
I always thought Stephen King was the master of having the short title.
Yeah.
Carrie, It, The Stand. The longest one would be like The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
No, he has some bigger ones, like The Dead Zone. That's still like only 2 words. He might have bigger words, but usually short titles.
Well, no, the other ones that would get bigger is like whenever it's like The Dark Tower or Volume whatever, or Wizard in the Glass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are but that
was his homage, like fantasy, so fantasy titles are always large. Next up, we have Jeanne Marie Lascaz. This one's on the side here. If there were a Mount Rushmore of nonfiction observers of life, Lascaz would be on it. Oh, thanks for burping while I read that.
I tried to get off, Mike.
Oh, Jesus. Jeanne Marie you done?
No, I'm making sure I won't.
Jeanne Marie Lascaz is there. Fuck. I'm going to have to edit the fuck out of this episode. Jeanne Marie Lascaz, if there were a Mount Rushmore of nonfiction observers of life, Lascaz would be on it. Her prose is effortless. Her style is always curious, rather than authoritative. She allows her subjects to reveal some authentic parts of themselves in a way that would be easy for another writer to miss. It's hard to read because it's in the little corner there. Lascaz is a true Roshi of... What does that mean? Master Roshi?
Yeah, oh God, no.
Lascaz is a true Roshi of nonfiction writing. Pick up her recent book, To Obama with Love, Joy, Anger, and Hope. That was in 2018. Good Lord, the title length! Pittsburgh writers have the longest titles I've ever seen of any authors.
They want to make sure that you absolutely know what the book is about.
Pick up her recent book, To Obama with Love, Joy, Anger, and Hope, which details the life in the White House mailroom and the people who wrote to President Obama. If that's not your thing, scoop up her earlier collection of stories, Hidden America, 2012. See, that was a more succinct title there. In which she brings to life an Ohio coal mine, an Alaskan oil rig, a Maine migrant labor camp, the air traffic controller tower at LaGuardia Airport, an Arizona gun shop, and the cab of a long-haul truck. I'm interested in the Maine migrant labor camp. I never heard of that one. Now we are on to John Edgar Wideman. Homewood native John Edgar Wideman has written novels, flash fiction, and nonfiction, and his work has been adapted for the theater. Wideman has also lived through more than his share of tragedy. Be patient. His prose is complex and sometimes cerebral. Usually means long-winded.
Yeah.
It can take some work to get through, but it's totally worth it to explore with him some of the most difficult aspects of race, family, loss, guilt, and trauma. His most recent is a collection of stories titled American Histories 2018. Along with that, pick up his searing memoir, Brothers and Keepers, 1984. That's an older one. And his Homewood trilogy, Damballa, Hiding Place, and Sent for You Yesterday.
Do you feel like you could do a memoir? Like, do you even think that you've been through anything enough to, like, could you do, like, do you think anybody would buy, like, the Buggy memoirs?
Would anyone buy a memoir about our time as cart pushers at a Walmart?
Yeah.
Yes, because we could definitely fluff that up to hilarious levels. Would it be popular? I don't know. I would like to think so. We might have to do a little
research.
I try to forget a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
As far as my life, I think I have some topics I could touch on that would be interesting, but I don't think I would want to write about them. Now we have Yana Harvey. For those who prefer their stories told in graphic form, Spencer.
Yeah.
Yana Harvey is a co-author, and I always mess up his name. What is it? With
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, that's how it's pronounced?
Or Ta-Nehisi Coates, something like that. I'm not good with it.
That was,
yeah, he was,
one of our book club books we read was him, wasn't it? Did he do that, like, Egyptian one, or?
I don't think so. Because he's just been doing, like, ever since he came to Marvel, he's been doing a lot of, like, Captain America and, like, Black Panther and stuff.
I could have sworn we read one of his books. But anyway, so Yana Harvey is the co-author with Ta-Nehisi Coates, and Roxanne Gay of several comics in the Marvel Universe, Black Panther, World of Wakanda, 2016, and Black Panther and the Crew, We Are the Streets, 2017. Harvey is also an accomplished poet. Her collection, Hemming the Water, 2013, is corporal and detailed. What does that mean, corporal? She used her watchful eye to examine intergenerational stories full of length and struggle. It's a second page, Spencer.
Second page?
It's been a while since we had to go to a second page. By the way, folks, I always forget to mention this early on, but this website is nextpittsburgh.com. Local website, I guess. nextpittsburgh.com. Oh, so that author, the one I was fucking up the name, Anjali Shanjava, is a pretty lady.
Yeah.
There's a picture. She was the headline picture of the article. Now we are on to Sherry Flick, the latest collection by Southsider Sherry Flick. Thank Your Lucky Stars, 2018, is an assemblage of lonely people, broken people, wanderers, and seekers. There are moments of hopelessness and beauty, all of which are observed with compassion and economy. In addition to this new collection, Flick is the author of the novel Reconsidering Happiness, 2009, and the short story collection Whiskey, Etc., 2016. I might be down for the whiskey, etc.
I mean, yeah, that seems like something to be down our alley.
What's the etc., though? More whiskey?
Etc., etc., etc.
More etceteras? Now we have Jan Beatty. This is poetry, but never fear. Beatty is more rock and roll than staid sonnets. Don't know what staid means. S-T-A-I-D. I never heard of it. I'm not going to like it, never going to use it. The director of Carlow University's Mad Woman in the Attic writing program tells stories of waitressing and addiction, road trips and adoption, homeless shelters, and Joni Mitchell. She's funny, sharp, and edgy. I don't know why they had the and. She's funny and sharp and edgy.
Just didn't feel like using commas.
I don't know. She's funny and sharp and edgy. How can you not love a writer who titles a poem Dropping Blotter Acid at the Slag Dump? Pick up her most recent collection, Jackknife, from 2017. That's another very long title, but I actually like that title. Yeah. Dropping blotter acid at the... I would get the blotter out of there. I would just say dropping acid at the slag dump if I was going with the title. This list seems longer than 13. Roy McHugh. Before Pittsburghers came to love hockey and before the Steelers were the calling card of the region, Pittsburghers loved boxing. The great Roy McHugh died at age 103 in February of this year, in 2019. Rest in peace, Roy McHugh. But luckily for us, a collection of his tremendous sports writing has been published posthumously. Go ahead, Spencer.
Posthumously?
I never could say that word. Every time they have it at the Oscars, I try to repeat it to myself. It makes my mouth sticky. Has been published posthumously. Posthumously. It was published after he died. Simply titled When Pittsburgh Was a Fight Town, 2019. Nobody knew the fight game like McHugh, who wrote for the Pittsburgh Press for more than 4 decades. His prose was elegant and efficient, evocative and clean. He was one of the great sports writers in the Pantheon, with the likes of Grantland Rice, Shirley Povich, and W.C. Hines. I wish my name was Grantland.
Yeah.
Is that what Grant is short for? Huh. If you want to understand boxing, or even if you just want to understand Pittsburgh, the book is a fantastic introduction. I might actually pick that up because
you're a bit of a boxing fan.
Yeah, I like boxing history a lot. And I don't know shit about Pittsburgh local boxing, so that would be cool. And there are 2 writers with whom all Pittsburghers should be familiar. These 2 have both moved away, but continue to produce work as the writers emeritus of Pittsburgh. What does emeritus mean? In other words, this is a learned feller or lady who wrote this article. David McCullough? Sounds Irish. There's a lot of fucking Irish folk in Pittsburgh, I guess. David McCullough, for all the history dorks, one of the great American history writers, hails from Pittsburgh. You've all seen McCullough about 1,001 times on various PBS history specials, and he has chronicled Teddy Roosevelt's childhood, the building of the Brooklyn Bridge, the Wright brothers, and the American Revolution. Some of his best fucking bullshit... Some of his best titles are his comprehensive biographies of Truman and John Adams. All right. The other writer you should know is Annie Dillard. Dillard's breathtaking memoir of growing up in Point Breeze, An American Childhood, 1987, is one of the best childhood memoirs of all time. That's saying something.
Yeah.
Not at all Pittsburgh biased, because this person's from Pittsburgh, and we're reading the article in Pittsburgh on Pittsburgh about Pittsburgh from a guy who's named Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Ginzer. I hate Kabasi. Though she has written both fiction and nonfiction, she is best known as a naturalist. In Pilgrim of Tinker Creek, she reveals her exquisite abilities to observe and interpret the world around her. Dillard's prose feels like waking up all over again, but in a world that is lusher and brighter and more colorful. If you want a quick primer on Dillard, pick up The Abundance, 2016, a collection of selected essays from our decades of writing that the New York Times describes as a retrospective of her career. So 4 decades of writing in that collection. Have we mentioned your favorite Pittsburgh author? No. I don't think I have one. Unless...
Yeah.
No. No, there's none I could think of. So what do you think, Spencer? Anything tickle your fancy?
I mean, they all seem pretty interesting.
At least half of those were like non-fiction, though.
Yeah, like that's what that was gonna be my one of the things that I brought up. It didn't seem like a lot of fiction writing when it comes to the Pittsburgh writings. A lot of memoirs or writing about, different historical things and stuff like that.
I noticed people from Pittsburgh love history, sports, and just the history of Pittsburgh and the history of Pittsburgh sports.
Yeah.
That's like the main things I ever get from Pittsburgh people.
They just love their own area.
Yeah, and I mean, we're born about 30 minutes south of Pittsburgh, so we're not actually Pittsburghers, but we have a lot of Yinzers in the area. I don't say the word Yins. I don't like the word Yins.
You get upset by it.
Because Mindy always says it, because her dad's from Carnegie, and he's a Yinzer, so he's always saying Yins and that, and this sounds stupid to people who aren't from the area or are international listeners. Like, what the fuck's a Yins? That's what people around here...
It's like a y'all.
Y'all, but it doesn't make sense. Y'all is you all. Yeah. That makes sense. Yins, what is that? You-ins. Fucking jacks me right off.
No, doesn't a jerk? How's the Pittsburgh dad does it? Isn't it like jerks? Or doesn't he say like Jack's real weird or something like that? Like
I don't listen to that guy. I don't like that guy at all. That's another thing. I don't think Pittsburgh dad's funny. I hate Pittsburgh dad. Fucking jerk. Though there are a handful of Pittsburgh things that have gotten into my vocabulary because I was born here. I don't say things are slippy. I say they're slippery or slick. Because that's the thing. Like, if it's icy out, they say it's slippy out. I don't say that.
I've never said it's slippy.
No, but I do say jaggers instead of thorn bushes. I don't call them thorny or thorn bushes. I say jaggers. That's a thing that people are like, what the fuck's a jagger? Like Mick Jagger? Chipped ham. That's just general.
Yeah.
One of my favorite words of all time is hoagie. And I didn't know until I started traveling that you just ask for a hoagie. I mean, most people will know what it is on the East Coast at least, but some places are like, what the fuck's a hoagie?
Get the fuck out of you, degenerate.
It's a sub or a grinder. And I'm like, a grinder is an app for gay guys. I am not doing that at the moment. I mean, I want something in my mouth, but I want a fucking big sandwich.
Well...
No hot dogs, sandwich. But that brings us to a good question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, I think we've had this conversation before.
Probably. Buggy. That's one that both of us use incorrectly. Because where in the world would a shopping cart be called a buggy? Buggy's like a horse and buggy.
Yeah.
But we also have those because we have Amish people.
Yeah,
so that's true. Weird. You think that'd be confusing. Oh, get the buggy, and somebody comes up with the shopping cart. You like punch them in the mouth. That's weird.
No, what about if an Amish person uses a shopping cart? Then could they call it buggy?
Yes. Yes, they can do whatever they want because they got cool beards. Their names like Ezekiel and Ebediah and stuff. Is that it? Is that all our Pittsburgh slang?
I'm sure we're missing something, but...
Well, I know, like, both of us, we don't say because, we always say cuz.
Yeah.
I get that every time I edit the podcast, and I'm like, I'm going to start saying because I don't want to sound like a fucking idiot. In every episode, I just say cuz. Yeah, cuz we're stupid. Regional accents. But you know what? Scranton, I think, got voted the worst accent.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how it beat Boston. Boston got voted the sexiest accent. I don't know who did this fucking poll this time. It was like it was trending like a couple months ago, I think.
I've never actually been over to Scranton, but I didn't know that they had like is it just like a more like royal, like southern, like what's their accent sound like?
Apparently just disgusting. They're just garbling and throwing up.
No.
If it's the worst accent. I know. I think it's just like, just kind of like a working class accent.
But you said Boston got the most sexiest?
Yeah, like Boston.
In the garden.
Wicked awesome. Yeah, that got fucking...
Pockets off,
You're just yelling. You're just yelling.
That's how they talk.
Give me a Red's wicked. Wicked awesome. New York accent, I think would be... I don't like New York accent. Coffee. Like, I think it sounds like shit. But I think Pittsburgh accent's awful, too. I think it's an atrocious accent. Very few accents I actually like in America. I do not like the vocal fried Valley Girl accent.
Oh.
That you see, the like, Sheila, she was like, all up in my shit, like, no, I don't like that. The surfer guy accent's cool. I like super white hipster Portland guy accent. Because they sound like newscasters almost. When I went to Maine, that's what freaked me out. Because they didn't have an accent. Like, and same with Colorado. It wasn't that they didn't have an accent. It's just because I'm used to hearing like the Pittsburgh shit that it sounded like newscaster. Everyone sounded like a broadcaster, like they enunciated their words properly and stuff. And I'm sure they actually do have an accent that other people would recognize, but I couldn't recognize it because I'm used to fucking idiot talk. But at least we're not Southern. I shouldn't say that. I think we had a lot of Florida listeners lately. I'm always wondering how we get people in Florida to listen to us.
And isn't that weird? Because, like, you got Florida, but, like, Florida doesn't really have, like, a lot of, like, I'm sure that there's people down there that have, like, the classic, like, Southern draw. Like, especially when you get into the swampy areas.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Not, like, you don't think, when you think of Florida, you don't think of that accent.
Yeah. Like Alabama or something.
Yeah.
So, Pittsburgh authors. Check them out, folks, at that website that I closed out and can't tell you what it is now.
Pittsburgh Now, wasn't it? Or Now Pittsburgh? One of those.
Sounds about right. Just look up Pittsburgh authors. First thing that came up when I looked it up. If you liked this episode, and I don't know why you would, as many times as I fucked up reading that little article, you can go yell at us on Drunk Pen Writing on the old Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Drunken Pen Writing, and of course the website where we got some stories. And I will be announcing the Halloween submission period here soon. Because I want to get Jumpstart this year. So I'm thinking maybe next week. Think that sounds good? Better write it on the board.
Or it will be forgotten.
Yeah, so by the time this comes out, that announcement might be already made. We'll make another one on the podcast. Because we always get fucking bombarded with submissions, and I've already had some people inquiring. So yes, we will be having our Halloween submission again, because that's the only thing I look forward to anymore. Halloween time, and I think that's just because a lot of the murder. I like the murder story, Spencer. So thank you for listening, and we also got a lucrative offer from some media lady. I don't remember. I showed you. You couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it.
It made no sense to me.
But we got monetized per minute if we go through with that. So I'm sure that's legit. I'll reach out to that lady who says she loves our podcast but didn't mention any episode title, name, or anything else. So see you later, folks, and yin stay sexy.